What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 58, and we start days of stuff on the back of the win over Manchester City in the FA Cup final by 2-0. Our first domestic honour of the save, let alone the season, but as we know, it's basically a domestic double. Heading into the final two games, we would know if Manchester United would slip up against Leicester, our rivals, then the title would already be ours. Head the game against Everton. Unfortunately, Brendan Rodgers couldn't do us a favour, but because Manchester United won and cut the gap to 2, it didn't really change things at all. We would know that all we need really is just a 1 point from our final two games, away at Goodison Park or at home to the Cherries. Why is that? Well, simple. The goal difference right now is just so superior to Manchester United. So really, even if we drew this game and then lost 20-0 at home to Bournemouth, well actually 20-0 might possibly make it a little bit sketchy, but yeah, if we were to lose 4-0 and Manchester United won 4-0, we'd still be champions. So we knew just 1 point from our final two games would do it, and I wanted it done on the Wednesday night. So heading into the game, Everton away, a chance to wrap up that domestic double in the pursuit of the magic treble. Again, wanting it done on the night. Only I think one change from our starting lineup on the FA Cup final, because I just wanted to get it done as quick as possible. I wanted to do it against Arsenal, and we slipped up in that game here. I didn't want to have back-to-back slip-ups heading into the final day. If we were to lose this one, no wins in our last two Premier League games, final home game, and if we were to lose and Manchester United to win, and we would lose out on the title by a point, well, I would be absolutely fuming knowing it's been my worst bottle job of all time. I wasn't prepared to let it happen. Yep, starting the game off, Tony hit the post from close range from kickoff, but 8 minutes before the break, he doesn't miss twice. The Shocker, who opened the scoring in the FA Cup final, he's going to win back-to-back golden boots. He won't get to 40, and I don't think I'll ever get to 40 ever again, but 32nd goal of this season opens the scoring. That golden boot is going to be his to keep, and we do take the lead right before the break. To be fair to Everton though, once we had that opening goal, they totally changed the complexion of the game. There were some great chances either side of half-time. Right before half-time, Dan James denied by Dean Henderson. We were still up by 1, but early on into the second half, there was some brilliant chance for the Toffees. Julian Alvarez denied by Dean, as we still held on to that one goal lead, and then from the corner, as you'll see, eventually James plays it short to Julian Alvarez. The cross smacks Matty Cash in the face. That was such a funny little animation. Cross to the back stick, and then Gravenberch denied by Henderson as well. So 3 big saves for Dean either side of half times. We're still leading by 1, and from this corner whipped in, Diaby doesn't get a clear header away, and once again Gravenberch denied by Dean Henderson. 4 big saves from Dean in the game, and he kept us still leading by 1. As we had that 1 goal advantage, I felt we might need a second to wrap things up with the Toffees pushing. Great chance here, 66 minutes in. Crossed by Rodri, picks out Curtis at the back stick. Couldn't get his header on target as he puts it off target. Still 1-0. And the nerves are beginning to get to me in the second half, holding out to that slender 1 goal lead. The Toffees going close again, shot smacking off the woodwork. We still led by 1. Could they battle back and claim what you consider deserved point? Well, with 11 minutes to go, wouldn't you just know it? 4 brilliant saves from Dean in this game, but the one time he gets beaten, and it's an absolute howler. I've said it before though, I quite like the fact goalkeeping mistakes are in the game because they're a part of real football. Dean doesn't normally let me down, but for this goal here, what on earth was this from Henderson? Totally loses sight of the ball. It deflects off Mazrati from the header. Lovro can't keep it out on the line, and it basically goes in at slow motion as it ends up going down as an own goal. It shouldn't have been an own goal because the deflection was so slight. Henderson should never be letting that creep in at near post, but it does. Again, I quite like goalkeeping mistakes in FIFA. It is quite realistic, but it's hella frustrating when it costs you points. Frankly though, it did not matter, because whilst mathematically we hadn't technically guaranteed the title come the final whistle, the 1-1 draw had all but secured it because of the goal difference swing. Everton won, Nottingham Forest won, and I quite like this as well. Whilst the title wasn't mathematically won, we knew we'd just taken the biggest step that had basically put the engraving on the trophy before the final game. That would do it. Everton won, Nottingham Forest won, and we'd know whilst technically the title wasn't won, it basically was. Tough old game this one, I must say. Toffee's got a few really good chances, particularly in the second half. Henderson was really good despite the error, but thankfully Tony's goal does ensure that point means the Premier League is ours to celebrate. So, domestic trouble is down. We've won them both as we continue our pursuit of the treble. Again, a reminder, 3-point gap with a goal difference swing is far too big for the Red Devils to catch up. Really anticlimactic final there as well. Top 4 set, European places basically set. The only thing to be decided on was 17th and 18th, and Bournemouth needed to beat us on the final day, and Aston Villa needed to lose, and it needed to be a goal swing of 7. The likelihood of that, very, very slim with Aston Villa away at the Etihad. Yes, but Bournemouth travelled into the champions now, Nottingham Forest. All I cared about was making sure none of our players got injured for the Champions League final against Inter Milan. So I feel a totally weakened side for the game. 11 changes for it. Just a bunch of backup players. Jesse Lingard playing his final game of pro football. Gazza his final game for the club. Possibly final game for club captain Joe Worrell getting the start as he lift a trophy as well. Bournemouth at home. Gary O'Neill's side did not matter what would happen in this one whatsoever. Would it be nice to win it though on the final day and preserve our long unbeaten run in the Premier League? Bournemouth had the first chance of the game, knowing they needed to win this game. Great save by Gazza, keeping it at 0-0, and then 14 minutes in, a chance for us to take the lead. Marcus goes down the right hand side, rolls it across, and the former Cherries link up against their old team. Dominic Solanke, he's actually got a really decent goal-to-game ratio this season, Dominic Solanke. As his 3rd in 7 in the Premier League as a squad striker, he's done all I can ask of him. 1-0 Nottingham Forest, and again, the result didn't really matter, but you never want to lose heading into a final, regardless of how meaningless the game is on the final Premier League game. We get the goal there, get ourselves in front, and then 29 minutes in, I'm not going to lie, I was really trying to get him a goal in this game, and I did as well. Yep, final appearance in professional football. Jesse Lingard with the finish from close range. Forest 2, Bournemouth 0, and that is how it'll finish. The Cherries would go down, Aston Villa would survive. Unai Emery, you are welcome, but this was really frustrating. Final whistle goes. I'm expecting to see raucous celebrations like we saw at Goodison Park. We got absolutely nothing. Players walked off down the tunnel. No trophy to celebrate. No silverware to lift aloft. No magical moments for the fans. Nothing whatsoever. Yeah. What? Really? What? That's so annoying. And it's funny because I've seen someone post on Reddit. Shout out to the R FIFA career subreddit. I'm a long-term lurker on the sub. But I've seen someone else post it on Reddit that they didn't get trophy celebrations come the final day. I was so annoyed. Like, come to final whistle, I was waiting to have the cool celebration. I was thinking, oh, it'll be kind of nice. Joe Worrell gets to lift the trophy. No, he doesn't. The Premier League trophy must have got stuck on the M6 or something, because there's nothing, absolutely nothing. I don't know about motorways, by the way. I can't drive, so if that's the wrong motorway near Nottingham, I don't know. But even so, I mean, we won the title. It doesn't change things. We're Premier League champions. You can't take that away from me, game. But there was no celebration. I was so frustrated. There was no celebration whatsoever. I guess you could say the boys are fully focused on that Champions League final, going for the magic treble, but come on, lads, we can afford 30 seconds of celebrating the silverware, can't we? Evidently, EA think otherwise. Tony did win the Golden Boot, though, 6 clear of Erling Haaland, back-to-back Golden Boots for Ivan Toney. He and Curtis Jones also topped the assist charts this year with 24 each. No doubt about it. Those two this season were players of the year. Curtis Jones was so good. And Henderson also won back-to-back Golden Gloves as well with 15 in 37 games. We had the best defensive record in the division. We've really picked up since the start of the save. But whilst we didn't lift the silverware and didn't celebrate the trophy, I guess, like I mentioned a moment ago there, maybe the boys are fully focused on this. Yep, 2 down, 1 to go in the pursuit of the magic treble. We knew the Premier League was all but secured. It's now in the bag, and now we go for the magic trio after winning the FA Cup, the Premier League, and now taking on Inter Milan in the Champions League final in a repeat of that dramatic Europa League final last season. I'm expecting more fireworks as we go for the treble. But that will this episode of Crimo, guys. Big thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do drop a like. Most of you all have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the season finale, the Champions League final against Inter Milan, going for our treble, the first of the save, very soon.